Oh, it's going to be good. I want to start by addressing real quick what's going on, and then I'm going to bring in my guest, the brilliant Brent Morgan. A couple nights ago, I talked about what can white people do, because a lot of my white people friends have been calling me and saying, hey man, what can we do? Because I'm a kid from the suburbs originally, and I've been in New York City for 30 years now. So I'm a city boy now, but I've got roots in the suburbs. So I got people there. And so I went through a couple of things real quick. I talked with my friends who are in the African-American community, Black folk, and some of the things they told me. One, get out of your comfort zone, people. Get out of your comfort zone. Step into something you haven't stepped into, a conversation, an action. That's the key. That's number one. Two, go volunteer with your skill set. Whatever you have, whatever you can do. Find an organization. A lot of the smaller arts organizations have not been funded. So kids this summer are going to need you. So whatever you do, whether you're a carpenter, a coach, or whatever, get in there. The third is listen more. Just listen, listen, and listen to more of your Black friends, your colleagues, your workers, your fellow students, employees, whoever they are. And then the last was, I said, shop at businesses that are Black owned, or again, that are small organizations that did not get the stimulus money. A lot of the small ones didn't. And it doesn't mean it does mean you have to actually go and find out who owns these businesses. And when you go into a business that looks like they're not with the mission of equality, of humanity, and it could be as simple as a smirk or a smug when someone says Black Lives Matter, or when somebody makes a comment and you know who they are, don't shop there. Don't go there. I had an example of that is when Amadou Diallo was murdered by the police reaching for his wallet to show his ID, he was shot 41 times in New York City. This is about 20 years ago. I made a baseball cap, said 41 shots. When Sean Bell was murdered, I made another cap called 50 bullets because he was shot 50 times. Actually, I still have that one. I don't have the 41 shots. But I walked into a pizza shop with my 41 shots hat on, and a guy said, what's that all about? I said, I think you know. And he goes, yeah, I do know. I'm not down with it. I go, you're not down with it? I mean, 41 shots, reaching for his wallet? Yeah, too bad, he says. So I say, you know what? I'll take my money back. I'll buy my slice down the street. You don't have to have a sign to protest. You don't have to be vocal. Just know who you're supporting and what they believe in. And there we go. Rock and roll. We'll make this world better. I'm going to bring in my guest, Brent Morgan, who is making the world better. We're going to talk about all of his work as a musician and a good man, a humanitarian. Please welcome Brent Morgan. Hey, Brent, welcome.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm glad to see you.
You too. It's been a while.
It has. I'm going to throw a couple of names out at you that are watching us right now, just to give some kudos to those in the chat rooms. Callie Greenberg's here. Bill Kennedy's here. Mark Schumann's here. 137 shots. Yowza. Robert Cantwell, Chip Vance, Casey Costigan, Bina Cooper, Summer Morgan, Yuni Yap. They're all showing up. Stephen Helen, Cassie Ann Matthews, Bina Cooper, Caxi. All right. Turco Ono says, welcome, Brent. So let's get right into it, man. You are doing incredible work with your audiences live on a channel or a website called younow.com, and that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
And I actually got a question right away from somebody. A few people emailed questions ahead of time because they know it can get hectic in the chat. And someone said, you've chosen YouNow as your main platform. Let me see. Yeah, YouNow and U2. You seem to have taken a non-traditional path to success. First, is that accurate? And second, what pushed you in that direction and why?
As a musician, when I started getting serious about it, I played mostly gigs around my local town. I was playing like any restaurant, any bar that would, want me to come out and play some music. And then in 2012, I had some minor success on YouTube. I had Ryan Seacrest played one of my videos on American Idol, and it went viral. And I had some people commenting that I should try live streaming on this viral video. And I literally just Googled live streaming, and YouNow came up. And so I tried it out. I went live. I played some songs for some people, and luckily within like the first couple months, it started picking up. And the CEO, Adi Seidman, who's a friend of both of ours, happened to find my live stream and really liked it and was like, hey, I think this company, we're going to be moving forward, and it's getting bigger and bigger. I'd love for you to be a part of this. And yeah, everything changed. He flew me to New York, and it changed the course of my life completely. Now I've been streaming there for 9 years, and it changed everything. I was a music teacher, and I went full-time broadcasting after about a year of broadcasting on now.
What does that look like, full-time broadcasting?
So I broadcast 3 times a day. I start at 9 a.m. I'm not a night broadcaster, so this is just for you. But
Thank you.
I do 9 a.m. and then I do noon, and then I come back around like 1:32, and my day is over. And they're usually about an hour and a half long each, so it's not that crazy. But I also write and produce for a lot of artists, so I use most of my time in this room, regardless.
And what is that? What are those 3 sessions? If people were to go on You Now and go to Brent Morgan Music on You Now, what are those sessions like?
So I do a mixture of gaming and music. So we'll get into this later, but about 3 years ago, I ended up having this condition called muscle tension dysphonia, where my vocal cords do not recover at like a normal human vocal cord. And so I can't sing as long as I used to. So I wanted to be able to keep live streaming. So I started taking up gaming. I'm not very good at it. I'm getting better now. But people don't really care in the live streaming world. If they've been watching you for that long, they just want to see you and they want to hang out with you. And so I will usually do 2 gaming streams and 1 music stream every day.
Oh, cool. Cool. And
Yep.
people actually request songs and stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you do for, live when people in chat and whatnot are asking for songs or jingles. Tell me what's going on.
So with You Now and most live streaming apps, watchers can give you gifts, and on You Now there's these graphic gifts that have these amazing graphics going on the screen, and they monetarily support me. So what I do, my little thing is I just sing for those people. If Greg gives me, whatever, $50 worth of something, I'll sing a song for Greg on the spot, or I'll let him request a song, and then I might not know it, but I can play by ear, so I can figure it out pretty quick, and I'll just do my own little rendition and kind of keep the ball rolling.
Bina Cooper just made a comment. He is good at gaming.
Bina is one of my moderators on You Now. She keeps the chat safe for me.
Cassie Ann Matthews says, LMAO, you try your best, Brent.
That is true. I'm not the best gamer. I stick to music, but gaming's fun. It's a good way to, especially during this time, man. I'm getting to hang out with more of my friends online than I ever have. So,
Junie Yap is lurking. Ewan Beaumont's here. Nicole Waddle's here. Jonathan Johnny Altman's here. Camby's Shekdar's with us, and Amy Alt is with us. Katha Cato is with us. Scooter Milvey. We got a crowd here. Yeah. Let's take a look at your studio.
Yeah.
You travel all the way out of your house across town to go downtown in Alabama to your studio, right?
Yeah, I live in Alabama. Yeah, my studio's here in my house.
The only true thing of what I said is that you live.
Yeah, I travel everywhere. But this is just the studio. We just got this house not too long ago, and I wanted, that was the biggest thing. We were looking at houses. I wanted a space that I could actually have everything I do in one spot. Where I used to live, I had a different setup for like recording and producing music, and then a live streaming setup was completely separate. Now I can just turn to my right and I have a separate desk here with all different audio equipment. So kind of streamlines what I do, because my work is I'll go live, and then right after I get off broadcast, I have to jump on, a writing session with somebody or start producing. And it really made things a lot easier for me with having more space. So
this studio is in your house. Give us the top 3 items in your studio that you think any broadcaster, and don't think about money, how much it costs, but any good broadcaster doing music online should have.
You said 3? Yeah. I think I love these Shure SM7B mics. They are like the go-to mic for podcast and broadcasting, and it's great for music. A soundboard with reverb. You don't want to be singing into a dry signal online. It kind of makes the room sound a little more exciting. And lighting. If you want to keep a consistent crowd, having decent lighting will always help. It's easier to watch you. It's easier to see, and people feel more personal when they can see you better than. Yeah, that picture, literally the exact same outfit and the exact same setup. It's my favorite hoodie. I mean, I wear it all the time.
It's great. So maybe you can improvise a song for us. What do you think? Or a jingle? Yeah.
We'll see.
You know how long? I'm going to take a look at one of the questions that. Actually, let's go. I'll take some comments from the chat, And how do you normally do this? Just do I say like 5 or 6 things and then you go off?
I don't ever do this, but this is cool. What I do is just I make up something about somebody that just either gave me a gift or did something cool in the chat. But
okay, well then
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
let's start with your format. I'll give you a comment that's in the chat, and then we'll see what you come up with.
Let's do it.
All right.
They made me do this by the way, on The Voice. They made me do this, and it was painfully awkward because they didn't know how to do this. They were just like, Brent, can you just sing about what's around you in this room? And I was like, I don't want to, but I would. Like, I guess I can. And it was just a room with like a bush and a couch and a wall. And I was like, this is on national TV.
I promise my audience, you guys, don't worry. We're gonna get a legit song out of Brent as well.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic, though, real quick, does your wall have a built-in sound echo? Somebody asked.
Yeah, not sound echo. Like if they're talking about like dampening in here, yeah, I have sound. I have foam around them.
All right, so
to keep it dry.
Somebody typed it into the chat, and you're going to roll with this. Cool Purple Colors Studio.
Sounds good. Will somebody just describe my studio? I love purple and I love lights. Oh, yeah, here we go. I had to make it look cool for y'all on Robert Galinsky's show. Oh yeah, here we go. That's rough, but like.
Oh, that's great, bro. Great. That's wonderful. Somebody asked, what is your favorite color?
It was blue my whole life, and all of a sudden I've been loving purple. I don't know what the deal is. Well, I'll tell you what it was. We are obsessed with Disney World. Me and my wife go as much as we can, anytime we can. And they have a new park in there from Avatar, the movie Avatar. And everything in there is what I base this thing off of. Like, it's all purple vibe and like forest everywhere and greenery. And I was just obsessed with it. I told my wife when we were there one time, I was like, I want this to be my streaming setup. And now I'm obsessed with purple. Everything I do. I don't know what it is.
My brother was obsessed with purple growing up. He's convinced my parents to let him paint his ceiling purple in his bedroom.
That's awesome.
That was Jeffrey Nunez, by the way, who asked about the color.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Frank Leonard said, that was cool. I agree. Soothing, amusing, and happy, says Andrew Einhorn, who's going to be a guest, by the way. Tammy T is with us. That says, that's awesome. Amy Alt wants to know, who are your musical influences?
I would say, like, John Mayer is why I started playing guitar. And then because of John, I know this is backwards, but because of John Mayer, I got into Stevie Ray Vaughan, who inspired John Mayer. And so that really made me pick up the guitar. But in the beginning, I would say like Jason Mraz was one of my favorite, like the singer-songwriter types, even the Jack Johnsons. That's what really got me into just writing music. Yeah. And then now I'm obsessed with a guy named John Bellion, who's an amazing artist on his own, but he also writes and produces for so many different artists out there. And that's kind of like what I'm doing on a smaller scale and what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Sounds great. I'm going to do some more shout outs. Gotta love these people.
Yeah, you're good.
Addie Bork is with us.
A lot of you now names.
These are you now names. Jackie Ganalis is with us, aka Blue. Nicole Waddle Roper. Who else is with us? Angela England, Andrew England, Jay Kaiser Morgan, Ron Cephas Jones, great poet actor is with us. Heather Prescott, another musician aspiring much to what you're doing, actually.
Oh, awesome.
A couple people wanted to ask again, tell us what's the name of that microphone that you suggested?
It's a Shure, Shure SM7B. It's just like the industry standard for this kind of stuff.
And then what, you got a board that USBs into your computer?
No. So if you want me to give you like a rundown, I do this constantly on you now because a lot of people are, especially during the pandemic, are flooding to live streaming. Yeah, but basically what I have is I'm on a PC. I have an interface, which is what you plug in a mic to normally. Yeah. It might be what you're using. But what I do is I plug in a soundboard to the interface. So I have a soundboard in between the mic and the interface. So with the soundboard now, I control the volume, I control the reverb, I control the EQ of the mic, and I can plug in my guitar and stuff. It has more ports. It's not a very expensive setup. The board was like $150, I think, and the interface was a little more expensive. But just that and this mic is all I really use for the audio.
Sounds very simple. It sounds great. I know you're going to do a special song for us toward the end of the show. You and I talked about it. Can you? Yeah. Can you do one of the songs a song you love, whether it's a cover or an original?
Sure. I'm doing original at the end, so maybe.
Yeah, do a cover.
Let me pull up some lyrics or something real quick.
Sure.
All right.
In the meantime, I'll shout out some more names: Corey Brown, Amber Carrasquillo, Clinton Cali, Sharon Kay, John Burke. People in the house. Lynette Jenkins is with us. Yeah, it does sound great, doesn't it, Lynette? Elizabeth Carter, if I haven't messaged you. Heather Prescott says, I'm using a Presonus Audio Box USB 96 Nano Cord.
Is that her interface? Well, I can ask her, but if that your interface or your mic, I don't know. I know Presonus makes interfaces.
Samantha Firestein wants to know any duets upcoming or happening?
Yeah, and so I'm working with a girl right now. Her name's Rachel Levin. A lot of people know her as RCL Beauty on YouTube. She has like 15 million subscribers, but I'm doing a whole album with her, and there's plans for me to be on one of the songs. So I already sing backup on everything we're doing, but I think we're going to do something together.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think I'm going to try a song that I don't do. I just really wanted to. I heard it today, and it really made me.
So people, remember this, because you know, Brent, I got a lot of people that are burgeoning artists in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But what Brent is doing right now, he didn't go to Old Reliable. He didn't pull out Old Reliable. He's testing himself, man, in front of us all. He's pushing the boundaries. Let's do it.
Yeah, it just seems appropriate. This is Human Nature by Michael Jackson. Looking out across the nighttime, the city winks a sleepless eye. Hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sigh. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, let me take a bite. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do me that way? They say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do me that way? I like living that way. Just do a snippet. I can already feel my voice about to crack.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Appreciate it, man.
Incredible. People are shouting you out. Samantha says, gorgeous Tammy T. Yes, Michael Jackson. Lynette Jenkins says, Michael's intimidating to cover. Great job. I love the song, says Kelly. Katha Cato, she's going to be on the show, actually. She's the director of the Queens World Film Festival, and she says, cool. Brent's voice is healing and calming. He needs to talk to everyone in the world. Can you do my outgoing message? She wants to know if you can do her outgoing message.
Yeah, I got you.
Ina Cooper says, amazing as usual. Shane Dabbs, sounds great. Trudy Thomas Morgan, love it. Cassie Ann Matthews says, okay vocals. And then she said, who am I kidding? I already knew you'd crush it. Talk about a little bit now about some of the work you do with the church, Good Shepherd United Methodist Church, and how you bring your music into the church.
Yeah, I wasn't raised really in church. My parents would take us to church, but we weren't there every Sunday. But when I moved here and I met my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she went to this church, and I started going with her. And the worship leader there figured out somehow that I played music by ear, and he was looking for people to play, and he asked me to play, and I picked up, what I could. I'd play guitar and drums, and he would teach me along the way, and that's kind of how I got started with music. So I owe a lot to it. And his name was Barry Kay. He still does worship and does music, but he basically taught me on stage as we were leading worship to these people how to play these instruments, and it kind of threw me in the fray. And I've been leading. I took over for him. I don't even know now, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been leading worship there ever since. And they've been very lenient with me because my job and what's going on with me makes me have to travel a lot. And so it's hard for me to make every meeting. It's hard for me to do all this stuff, but they allow me to travel, and they allow me to do all this stuff that I'm trying to reach my goals while still being back in time, to to lead worship. And right now we're doing virtual worship, so we're doing stuff like this.
Yeah. And what's one of your big goals? One of your bigger goals in life?
Be like I mentioned the guy earlier, John Bellion. He basically is living exactly what I would want to do as a writer. He is writing and producing for every genre you can imagine, from country to pop to rap, which is what I do on a smaller scale. And I think that's exactly what I want to do. I mean, I love live streaming. Live streaming is a huge part of my life, and it always will be. But my main passion and focus is music and writing and producing.
One of the things that I noticed when I was looking into your world was that not only are you a really incredible songwriter and doing a lot of collaborations and work with people, but you do the jingle thing. And do you feel, does the jingle, how do they relate to each other? How does songwriting as an artist relate to jingle writing?
So the jingle thing kind of fell in my lap. A long time ago, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I started seeing an opportunity to make money off of jingles in contests. I started getting ads all the time on Facebook for like Folgers and all these people wanting to write jingles. So I started entering some smaller ones, and I ended up winning. I had a good record at first. I won a New York. My first trip to New York was because I won a jingle for Dial 7 Cab Company, which is all sevens in New York, and they still play my jingle now, and which is crazy. And but that was in like 2011, and I won it. They paid me $5,000. They flew me to New York, and it blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is something I can do. And then I kept going. And then like I won one in Pennsylvania, and they flew me and my wife out to Pennsylvania. And then it started getting bigger and bigger, where I was competing in like Folgers, and I won. The biggest one was I won the $100,000 contest for Petco.
Yeah.
And I got to have $50,000 for me, and then donate $50,000 to a local shelter. And it was amazing. And they flew me to LA. I'd never been to LA. And
you met Dick Dyke, right?
Yeah, I did for a brief second. It was intimidating, but they flew me and they put me on Hollywood. What's the show? Access Hollywood.
Yeah.
And after that, the door kind of went, just opened up for me, and I got flown out for the Today Show, where I performed live on the Today Show, did a jingle for them, met Al Roker, who I would eventually work with in the future. It's crazy how everything tied together, but yeah, jingles gave me a start, but it also was kind of a curse because it made it where I couldn't write songs anymore. I could only write 30-second. I had to get to the punchline quick with my songwriting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody can relate to it. Well, it's a very rare thing that people are jingle writers, I guess, but it made it where I couldn't write a 3 or 4 minute song anymore. And I went for like 2 years without writing original music because I was pumping out at some points like 2 jingles a week. And it's not like I was writing them and sending them off to agency. I was writing them and then producing them and then cutting them up for TV. And it was a lot. And it started taking over, it became a chore more than it was fun. And luckily got back into where I'm doing now, where I'm writing full songs, even though I did do a jingle recently for a law firm, but that's just here and there. If a job I want to take, I'll take it.
I know of a show that airs 5 nights a week, Monday through Fridays at 10 o'clock out of New York. That
you need a jingle?
Doesn't have a jingle.
I'll work on it. I'll get you a jingle.
Yeah, that means
a little intro, man.
10 minutes after the show is over, I'll have a great jingle.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
Couple shout outs from the chat. David Perry.
Yeah, David.
Amy Ryan Fetter, Julie Thompson Whelan, David Perry, Brent's amazing. Kimberly Bischoff. Everybody's saying rock and roll. Great.
So different for me not seeing the chat, just so you know. That's just my life, is live streaming.
Yeah.
I read and react to chat all day. So yeah, I like it though. It's out of my comfort zone.
Larry's trying to explain to you what I'm doing because you were like, yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do it every day.
We're stripped down now. It's just you.
I know.
Keith Davis just joined us. Becky Savell loves You Now and You from Simi Valley. Lynette Jenkins is with us. And let's see. Callie Greenberg has a question. How did you get back to writing original? You just answered it. What a premonition.
Predicted it.
Yep. All right. You're working with somebody right now is kind of next level, right? I read something.
Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel Levin.
Yeah.
She's doing so she's still, top 10 YouTuber in the world, but she recently wanted to do music. And once again, this all ties in. Because of You Now and a D, I was performing at VidCon, which is a big convention in LA or in Anaheim. And a guy from this big Beijing company saw me and asked if me and a D Well, he came up to me and he was like, I want you to sing it in China. And I was like, whatever. And then like a week later, we got an email and it was like, we want you and Adi Sideman to come to China. Here's your plane tickets. I was like, oh, okay. And this is a big deal to me. I've never been to anywhere like China. I'm from Alabama. And so I went there and I was one of the 5 creators that they brought there from the US, and Rachel Levin was one of them. Logan Paul, which a lot of people know who he is. He was one of them. And so Rachel we kind of met there at dinner, and over the next 2 years kind of became friends. And then she was like, I love your music and I want you to write for me. And it happened. And now we go out to LA, once or so a month, and we write and produce with her. And there's a lot coming out with her. We just released one of her first songs called Myself, and it's doing great. It's almost at 1 million plays, I think. And she's taken off quick, as I suspected she would.
I want to, before I forget, because I've already forgotten 3 times, I want to thank Adi Sideman from you.
Of course.
For, we checked in with him. We both did. You checked in with him like, hey, this is a totally different platform. He's going live. And Adi said, go for it. He gave his blessing. He's a great guy. Of course. Now we just got to get Adi on the show. He's kind of shy. When he gets going, he gets going, though.
Oh, yeah. He's a great public speaker.
Amy Ryan Fetter says, I remember him at Bridge Street.
Amy gave me one of my first shots at music, really. She was in charge of the biggest mall out here is an outdoor mall called Bridge Street Town Center. And I was a pavement performer there a long time ago. And she was the reason I got that job. I used to play for tips. And she gave me all the opportunities in the world. Like, I'd be playing at Farmer's Market at Saturday at 6 a.m. sometimes with her. And whatever it was, this is what I did for a living. I was doing that full time. And then I was giving lessons on the side too. It was all music based. My work has always had some form of music in it. But yes, big shouts to Amy and everything she did for me.
Talking about peers of yours, I got a question from Turco Ono, one of our major fans in the show audience. What teacher had the most positive impact on you and why?
I don't know if I can. So like I said earlier, the worship leader at the church, Barry Kay, he by far is my biggest teacher in music. I don't know anybody that has the same story as me, where I'm just now learning guitar, like learning the chords, but he saw something in me and was like, I want you on stage this week. I don't care if you know these chords. I want you to learn them and play them. And luckily worship music is very easy. It's very repetitive. And so I just really dove into it because I didn't want to make a fool of myself on stage, not know what I was doing. So I was kind of forced to get good at it. And then some week he'd be like, hey, our piano player's not here. I need you to learn this piano song next week. And I'm like, the same with drums. And he kind of threw me into it. And I think that prepared me for all the stuff I've done now on a national scale, is just performing in live in front of an audience with my actual teacher that's teaching me on the spot.
That's great. Fearlessness. So the chatters are from you now are all saying, I keep forgetting Brent can't see our comments.
It's weird, man.
Bina says that, and Jay says, yeah, right, Bina? And then Cassie says, same here, Bina. It's weird not getting a response from him.
Yeah, I'm used to reading comments as they come in, like constantly. So
yeah, same here. Yeah.
They're probably used to it too. They're with me every day.
Give me a little advice. How do you handle it when they're flowing and you don't want to miss a comment or a question? Is there any trick to that, or is it just you got to be on the ball?
I think with me is I've done it for 9 years. I can see 10 comments at once, I feel like, at some points, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to get better at it. There's tools and things that we use now, like especially when you're gaming or watching a video with somebody. Like when I have my guitar, I'm looking at the chat the entire time. When I'm playing a game, I'm not. Right. So I have audio cues. People on YouNow have built little tools that will make a little sound when somebody drops a GIF, or it'll do text to speech where it'll read their comments out loud and stuff like that. There's different ways you can get past it, but really just doing it a lot and getting used to it. I'm sure you're getting good at it already.
I am.
You have 2 chats though, so I can't imagine that.
Heather Prescott, who's a musician and a singer, she wants to know, how many bands did you go through? So maybe wait before you do that. You do that. It's 10:30. Sorry, folks, the show's over. It's a 30. Unless we get some thumbs up here in a chat. Somebody else even said about the YouNow thing. I'm looking to post bars. Nobody can post.
Oh God, yeah, just donate to Robert.
I'll give you my Venmo. I'll put it up.
There you go.
So in order to, you'll stick around for a few more minutes?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So in order to do this, we start overtime with a game called Five Objects. Tonight it's four objects, and I'm going to show you these objects because
Okay.
I've been quarantined like everyone else, and I'm noticing things in my house that I never noticed before. Why do I have that? Why do I still? Oh, I'm glad I do have that. So I'm going to show you four objects. You just give me a quick response, what you think, feel, what they elicit out of you. Here, the first one is
Like what it reminds me of?
coffee beans.
Oh man, did you do that on purpose? I think you did. So like a year and a half ago, I've always for 7.5 years I went by Brent Morgan Music and live streaming and social media. One day, when I decided I was going to start doing gaming and music, I didn't want people to only think I was doing music. So somebody made a joke and called me Brento Bean in my chat.
There you go.
And I literally, as a joke, changed my name that day, and it really caught on. And now I'm Brento Bean. I have like physical stickers that people have. Like it's a real thing, and it's hilarious, but it worked. And now my fan base are called the Beans of all things.
All right, here we go. Object number 2.
Oh gosh. I mean, just honest, what comes to mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Once again, Disney World. Me and my wife go to Animal Kingdom all the time, and one of my favorite animals that are in the Animal Kingdom is the rhinos.
Here.
And it's nuts. Oh God, this reminds me of my friend Andrew England, who showed me. He's an amazing skater, but the other day we realized that we are in our 30s now, and he pulled his hip. And sorry to embarrass you, Andrew, but that's what came to mind. He's an amazing skater, though.
Here's the last item, number 4.
Guitar pick, man. It changed my life. It really did. Everything. I mean, I was a jock in high school, and when I decided to play music, I skipped one of my baseball games and got kicked off the baseball team because I was on a talent show, and we ended up doing good, and it made it in the school paper. And that was when I was like, hey, I really want to do music. And I picked up a guitar and started writing my own stuff, and decided I didn't want to be like the back band of the band anymore.
That's great. That's great. So let's go to Heather's question now. She has 2. The answer to this one, just one or the other, PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation is what I have.
The question, by the way, Callie Greenberg pointed out, it's purple, and I didn't do that.
I know, right? Send it to me. That's a good pick.
It says 11, Jim Dunlop, medium. All right, so you wanted to know, tell us a little bit about the bands you've been in, and I guess you play multiple instruments, so tell us which instruments you play and what you like most.
Okay. I used to play with just some friends when I was in high school, and we had a couple bands. The first band I was with, I played a lot with my friends Zach Cockrell and Brittany Howard, who are now Alabama Shakes, and went on to another band with Zach, and we had a band called In Between where I was the drummer. It was like a screaming rock band. We were just like playing at people's houses and talent shows and stuff. And that's when I played drums. I did it out of necessity because my friends needed a drummer, so I learned drums. And so after that, I started getting serious about what I was doing. So I started taking classes in college for music education and learning how to play classical guitar. And, I could play every instrument by ear. I was just born like that. But I started getting more interested in being able to read and being able to understand what I was playing. And it goes back to Barry, the guy that taught me. He was so amazingly good at what he does that it made me want to be the same. So I started pursuing all of these instruments. So now when I produce, I play piano, drums, and guitar mainly.
Are you comfortable with telling us a ballpark range of like how much you're in a typical session on you now that you'll make just from that time, because I know they contribute virtual money, but real money as well, right?
Well, it's real money. Yeah, it's just a virtual gift. I mean, you can't really, that's the only thing. It's a volatile market. You can't say you're going to make a certain amount every time. Like right. From subscriptions, you can. So say I have 200 subscribers, I'm going to make, that alone will make me almost $1,000 a month. Yeah. Just for my subscribers. That's always the same. But you can never tell. You could have a broadcast where you make $3,000. You could have a broadcast where you make $80. It just depends on, what goes on that day. If it's your birthday or if people are just feeling,
they're feeling.
It's all different. It's the same as me playing when I used to busk. When Amy, that was in the chat, I used to have a day. I would have a day near Christmas where I'd make $1,000 in 2 hours from tips. But you might play the next day for 4 hours and make $50. You don't know. Incredible. But as long as you enjoy it, it doesn't really. Obviously tips mean a lot to us when we're playing out there like that. But we just had so much fun playing music for people and meeting all these new people and growing our fan base. It's not just money.
Here's my version of that. we don't have the high tech you now. So, this is what I put up at the end of every show.
Yeah.
And there's the Venmo, PayPal. So if anybody's interested now, and
Sure.
And I take 25% of my donations, and they go to Literacy for Incarcerated Teens, which is a group I work with teenagers in prisons and jails. So it's not all going here, and there are some costs. So if anybody can kick in, that's great.
Do it.
One of Scooter Milvey is in the chat. He says, one of my great friends, Kim, just had a baby boy, Bryce, on June 2nd, born on the same day as her mother's birthday. Then her mom died this year after a really long battle with breast cancer. Can we have a tune, or is that not the way it works?
Like dedicate a song to them? Yeah.
All right.
Let me look up something that might fit the...
Cool. While you do that, I'll continue to
do the shout out.
Respond to some shout outs here. Bina is just going off. You go, Bina. Kimberly Williams is with us. Kira, Alicia Eggleton, Latrell, Mathania, let's see. Summer Morgan. He could play by ear when he was 2 years old, said Summer.
That's my sister.
Krista Sizemore is with us. Kristen McClann's with us. Wow, this is great. And then Jay Kaiser Morgan just laughed and said, Brent can't see us. Brent can't see us.
I know, it's strange. Man, it's a hard, like, what can you sing for that specific situation? I mean, I could do like Make You Feel My Love or something. That's just like a good love song that hopefully will.
All right, well, this is dedicated to Scott Milvey's.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. My voice might crack, but just whatever, guys.
You still got enough that other song, though, we were talking about, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, it'll probably crack in both, but whatever.
Yeah, your voice cracking is sounding great.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of this. Who is this dedicated to? Who asked for it? What's her name?
Kim. This is to Kim's mother.
All right, Kim's mother. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.
Absolutely stunning, my friend. Thank you. Beautiful. There's nothing but hearts flowing out of this chat here right now. And Scott Milvey, who asked for the song, said, so sweet, meaningful. Thank you.
Of course, man. Of course.
Jeffrey Nunez, love the song. You got a great voice. Wow, that was beautiful. I kind of don't want to talk just to let in.
Thanks,
So I think what we should do is, I know I had another surprise question for you here. Well, let's go toward the end of the show kind of flow here and questions. So what I wanted to know is, you're in Alabama, and we're going through, first we go through this pandemic issue and the quarantine and the lockdown. And then now we've got this whole thing with the murder of George Floyd going on, and tension, all kinds of different tension coming from different directions. People have been cooped up and told they can't go out. And now we witnessed this thing. So tell us, what's the vibe, the feeling, and the mood in Alabama from your point of view? Just one little brushstroke.
I literally an hour ago is when I first really like my stomach. I mean, I've been feeling mad and every feeling you can feel right now. But about an hour ago, there was some protest here in Huntsville, Alabama, and we were watching it live. One of the guys there protesting was broadcasting. My sister was there, so it was a little bit more scary for us. But we were watching, and they were literally just outside protesting and, just fighting for what was right. And the cops started shooting tear gas just now. This was an hour ago, and it's still happening right now as we speak. But we watched them shooting tear gas and shooting rubber bullets at people just from literally the top of the steps of this courthouse. And I don't know, it made me feel nauseous to my stomach that this is still happening, and it's been happening for so long. And I'm just happy that people are taking a stand right now, and I'm with them 100%. And Alabama has its reputation, and I'm hoping that people can, make a step towards changing that reputation, because everybody here is not the same. Another thing I can thank a D for is bringing me to New York, because when he brought me there for my first time, I remember having a dinner I went with him like the second or third night there, and we had a dinner with a guy that was from Germany, a guy from Nairobi, a guy from Kuwait, and then some of the UNA employees. And man, it changed my life path so much, just that one dinner, having that conversation, and them being so amazed about what goes on in Alabama, and me not understanding what life was like, where they're from. Yeah, I just think we got to stop living in our own backyards and realize it's not all fine and dandy everywhere else in the world.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
For sure.
I got to shout out Tara Strickland Hogan, who said, "I'm sorry about your mama, sweetie. Prayers for you." So she's talking to you, Scooter Milvey.
Tara's amazing too.
All right. What are you binge watching, or what do you suggest as people are locked in, what they might dig their eyeballs in?
We've been watching everything, literally. Jay can probably help in the chat too. But I really liked what's the documentary we just watched? It's going to drive me. I mean, obviously Tiger King was just a whirlwind. I don't know if y'all seen it. Surely you've seen it by now.
Absurd.
And we've been watching a show called Dead to Me on Netflix, which is amazing. I can't think of the other one. It's about it's a real event that happened where they raided the religious cult, and then the cops. Waco.
Waco.
That documentary on Netflix is unreal. It's unsettling. But yeah, I mean, we're watching everything at this point. I mean, Ozark.
There was another one, Bhagwan Rajesh.
Yeah,
documentary. Cassie Ann Matthews says, "I love you for caring so much, Brent."
Oh, thank you, Cassie. She's from UNOW as well. There's a lot of UNOW people coming over. It's so weird to me to be like you running the chat. Like I kind of like it. It's fun, but it's different.
You can hire me as your chat jockey from now on.
Yes, please come on in. We'll guest you on our show.
All right. This is a really important question. It's kind of somber, but are you wearing pants?
I am. I'm wearing shorts. I mean, no, I'm not wearing pants. I'm just wearing shorts.
But you
I don't really I haven't worn jeans. I don't even know, like 3 months now, maybe. I haven't worn jeans since this whole thing started.
Most people on Zoom, not most, but many people on Zoom just don't wear pants. They just do the Zoom call from the.
I saw with Robert Galinsky in Some Good News. Have you seen that show? That the guy from The Office started a show on YouTube that went viral. It's getting like 15 million every time. But he's the main guy from The Office, and he started a show where he only reports the good news, but he never wears pants. He wears a tux, like a suit, but he just has boxers on, and he stands up at the end of every show and walks out.
So let's do two more things.
Okay.
Let's go into the chat here. Mary Pat, good to see you, Mary Pat. Samantha says, just in, Carol Baskin won the Tiger King. Yeah.
Good old Carol Baskin.
Bill Green is with us. Bill, good to see you. Michael Swiskay says, meticulous voice. Wanda Phipps, an incredible poet and writer, has just joined us. Jackie Ganulis is with us. Kiera Alicia Edwilton, the guy is seriously amazing. He makes everyone around him feel wanted. He's amazing. She must be talking about you.
Kiera is awesome, yes.
Not the Tiger King.
No.
Tiffany Peacock joined us. So we're gonna close the show with the song that you said that you'd like to drop when I said, hey, can you do a song or two, an original? But before you do that, what's your call to action for people? What can you tell us as a call to action?
I think similar to what I said before. I mean, stop living within your own four walls. Realize, you have a voice and it's your job to speak up when something is not right. And I'm learning that more and more as we go. And I'm trying to make my voice heard and help people that need the help. And I think, in the end, I think you just cannot be naive enough to just sit there and think that everything is the same as what you go through every single day in your house, in your neighborhood. It's not the same. People struggle, and you have a chance to help those people. And I think especially right now, and people in my situation and your situation that are speaking to masses online from our houses is, I think it's our job to spread awareness as much as possible in any way. Anyway, I've been writing songs, and all I can write about right now is what's going on in the world. It's completely filled up my brain. I can't write a love song right now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, that's great. Do what you can from what you know and what your powers are. Yeah,
for sure.
I am going to sneak one question in here before the song, because Bill Green, Josh joins. Michael Swiskay said more mellifluous than meticulous. Okay. Bill Green wants to know, without getting any trouble by naming names, is there anything about your new entry into the industry that worries you or disturbs you?
What is he talking about, like in the music industry, writing and stuff? I mean, yeah, there's no names, but just the music business itself can be scummy. It's hard to luckily the people that I'm working with right now, most of them are good friends of mine, and we know what we're going into. But when you get thrown into a room with other writers and stuff, it can get dirty, and it gets a little off-putting sometimes. It scares a lot of writers and musicians away from the business, because the business side of the music world is not the same as what people think. We're not just like sitting in a room all happy writing songs and then we get money for it. It's a long process. And luckily I have one of the best mentors ever, Paula Batson, who is a friend of a D Sideman again, that introduced me, that she's worked with everybody from Columbia Records to Elvis Presley to Eric Clapton, and she guides me through all this. So I have it good when it comes to that, but it can be a rough business.
It feels like your karma and your energy has earned all of that, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
I like it for sure. So tell us about this song, and let's hear it before you exit.
Yeah. I haven't done this song in a long time. I wrote this song when Trump was elected. I didn't really know how to feel at the time. But I saw something on the news where he said that he had a broken world and he had to fix it, and it made me just like disgusted. This was before I had any view of him. I mean, I wanted to give him a chance, but when he said that, I got really mad, and I wrote this song, and then I didn't really do anything with it for a while, and then I showed it to Charlie Stettler, my manager, and he got me in touch with the Harlem Choir in New York, and they loved it, and we did this song together, and yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna wait a minute while you set up that choir and bring them in to your studio, right?
Oh, zooming them in right now. How amazing! But yeah, I'll do an acoustic version now, and we'll see how it goes. Don't need another quick fix, another band-aid. We blame God even though the fire's man-made. Point the finger point blank to a man's face. A bitter pill, a little hard to swallow, but when the television says follow, we follow. Now every day is looking better than tomorrow. It ain't a broken world with broken people clinging to excuses in the shadow of a steeple. We know the wrongs and rights, good and evil. It ain't a broken world with broken people. It never seems that we agree on anything anymore. Clenched hands make plans even quicker than they ever made a difference before. I've Bitter pills getting hard to swallow. Instead of being leaders, we hide and just follow. Now today is looking better than tomorrow. It ain't a broken world, we're broken people, clinging to excuses in the shadow of a steeple. We know the wrongs and rights, good and evil. It ain't a broken world, we're broken people. Broken people.
Incredible, bro.
Thanks, man. Great. I could feel it cracking as we went. I was like, I gotta get through it. But I appreciate it, man.
It's wonderful, man. You got your chatters going wild. She's Elizabeth Harder says we're in church now.
Right.
We are. Thank you so much for being with us.
Of course, man. You'll have to come on mine too sometime. This was fun.
I'd love to. I can't. I'm not a gamer, but
I'm not either.
You can
come on the music show.
we could do some. I can do some poetry and we'll rip the music under it.
I would love it.
All right. I thank you for being with us, and be well and keep up the good work in Alabama.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Peace.